A while back, I checked out this interesting little indie game by Hammer and Ravens called Abbey. It's a unique brewery tycoon all about managing a monastery that invents and brews a variety of beer. We basically worship beer, okay? In beer we trust. Essentially, it's providing a canvas for beer alchemists in a pixel art styling. Since my previous video on it, they've added a whole lot of love to it in the form of features and balancing that makes the game now ready for its full release. 1.0 is here, and Shiro Unlimited, the publisher of the game, has reached out and sponsored this video, which maybe turns into a series if you guys really want it to be. You know how to tell me about that down below. I think you guys know how to do that. Right below that like button that you clicked, of course, absolutely. So as we get started with a new game, we have a choice to name our monastery. It's going to start with monastery of St. Olaf. I'm going to change it to St. Charles. There it is. Done. And then we also have a choice to venture forth with the tutorial or not. I'm going to skip it because I think I know it good enough to grasp it already and I can explain it without it. But if it's first time playing the game, you should definitely use it. Okay. So this is our humble monastery. And very soon the bishop will come out. Yes, the bishop is going to kind of be our guide. It takes us on a journey. He's just arrived at the top of the hill. Oh, we finally made it. Never thought they'd need a bishop all the way up here. Oh, hello. I usually avoid fanfare, but it's always nice to have a welcoming committee. Now, let's skip the small talk. I'm here to make sure the clergy is handled and our local interests are kept in check. The monastery looks reasonable, but we can do better. I'll oversee, manage, direct, and at times demand. Now off you go. I have some serious pondering to do. Yes. So, your maltiness is what I am called. To expand our holy brewing mission, we need florins, and for that, we'll need to sell ale. We don't know many styles yet, so let's keep it simple. Let's whip up a recipe for light ale. Perfect for this hot spring. Oh, I'm parched just thinking about it. Now, off to the library. It's time to find us a desk. So, this is the task that the bishop has for us. He's going to reward us with florins as we do it. So, first thing is to build a recipes desk in the library. We're going to move a little bit fast in the beginning here, but I think you'll understand it anyway, because it's not that complicated of a game. So, library first, we're going to put a recipes desk here. This is where we're going to write recipes. At the top corner of the screen, we have our available florins. I just spent some, but we start with 1,500. Then we have fame. We have our comfort levels. For everybody that's there, we have a maximum number of rooms, and as we expand and, progress the game, we'll get to be able to have more rooms in the monastery. Our amount of research points, which we're going to get soon. We have fermentines. These are the monks that are responsible for brewing the beer and coming up with recipes and such. And then we have their current satisfaction. Okay, that's what we got so far. We can also build additional rooms, which we will do. So here, I'm going to build an upstairs with the stairs here and here. And I'm going to let the game play on because we need to come up with a recipe. So create a recipe with light ale styling. So we're going to go and create a new recipe at the desk. And we're going to select the light ale style. We're going to unlock a whole lot more styles later, but we start with just light ale. Now, every ale we brew has a description. In this case, thin and nearly flavorless. Nevertheless, a lot healthier and fun to drink compared to warm water. Very easy to enjoy with a meal. Quality range starts here. And we have 4 virtues: flavor, color, strength, and foam. These are the characteristics that make up every beer. And the balance of these is what kind of determines how successful this is going to be and the different characteristics of the various different beers we're going to have. There's nothing special about this. And the mandatory ingredients in order to make this qualify is a pale malt and standard yeast. So let's get to cranking on. We know we need at least these 2 things, so we're going to have both of them in there. But now it's about the balance. How do we make this? And in general, you want to get in the green zone and everything. But sometimes there's advantages to going beyond that. We're going to take a look at that too. So I'm going to say I want this many pale malts. It's going to be this little bit here. But now see, this is a little bit in the yellow now. So you can notice... Maybe you'll notice that these are the 4 virtues here, and each ingredient has this effect on those virtues. So it's a little strong. And so I can get around that strength by adding some additional standard yeast. As I hover over it, you can see what the change is going to do to the recipe. But if I add one of these, it's going to put 0.5 add to here. It's not going to do anything to color. It's going to take 1 whole strength point away from the strength and half a point away from foam. So if I click yeast again, it brings them down, and now everything's in the green. So we're going to basically have this first recipe be 2 standard yeast, 4 pale malt. The more ingredients we use to create this recipe, the more expensive it is to create the beer itself. So I'm going to keep that in mind too, is that everything we have to do is going to cost us money too. Okay, next we're going to select which fermentine is going to brew it. If they're in a really good mood, they have modifiers that are going to help us, and vice versa if they're in a bad mood. So this is her quality bonus. We have Hildegard here. She has +2 for intelligence and also +2 to her satisfaction. If she's not satisfied, if she's not happy, right, that's going to hurt us instead of help us. So she's going to give us a +4. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. Now, that's a random roll, and as you'll see later, there's a bit of RNG to it. But the quality rating that she ends up getting for this beer, that will be locked in for her. So no matter how many times we brew it with her, she will brew that quality beer after this. So the first time you have a fermentine brew a beer, you want them in the best possible mood, because if you have them do it for the first time when they're in a bad mood, you're basically going to have a higher chance of locking in a low score. And this thing, and this is where we name it, and I'm just gonna call this basically water. I'm just gonna call it that. This is basically water. It's our first recipe. It's nothing, right? Yeah. I probably could have called it yellow water, but this is what it is. Okay, so our dudes are up here. Construction's happening. We're building stairs. Up here on the top of this, I'm going to put a dormitory. And then on the top of this, I want a refectory. Now, eventually, the bishop's going to tell me to do these things, but I'm doing it ahead of him. And I will then just instantly get the money for what it is. So he'll still give me the rewards. So I'm going to get 120 florins for that. And then he'll come out with another task for me right after that. In the brewery, once we have the recipe, which is now done, in the brewery is where we, of course, make it. So we want to put a basic brewing stove, like that here, and then we need a basic fermenter. It's an airtight barrel. It is all that Monastery needs to begin a brilliant brewing journey. To make sure we clean it often. There it is there. Okay, so I'm going to put that in here, and then I'm going to have them get started brewing it. I'm pretty sure he's going to tell me to do this anyway. So here's the brew that we just came up with, all right? Maximum quality rating is 34. And we're going to want one of these guys to brew it. So you see this is a question mark. We don't know what quality they're going to get. I'll read the description. This fermentine will brew this recipe for the first time. The ale's quality will be determined based on the recipe along with several modifiers. However, the final adjusted quality will always remain within the recipe's quality range. The brewing process will also determine whether the ale develops any traits, and if so, which ones. Okay, so we're going to want the best possible outcome for Benedictus here. So that's +5. We're going to see about this. Now, there's one other condition that we have to pay attention to, and that is the chances for things to get a little spoiled for us, okay? There's an infection probability, and for him, he's not that clean of a dude, so there's always a chance that this stuff ends up infected. Hopefully that won't be the case this time, as I'm going to have him brew a max amount here. You can see because of the cost of the ingredients, it's going to cost us 160 florin to brew this. If I brew less, then I'll use less ingredients, of course. But we're going to see about this. So 160 florins is what we're going to brew here. Let's go ahead and do that. Now I'll talk to the bishop. I expected bird song and nature's peace, but instead it's murmuring, wailing, and snoring. This has to stop. Find your fermentines a proper place to sleep or I'll lose my mind. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do that. That's the dormitory here, which I am building right now. And we'll go ahead and add some beds here. I can just add 4 beds there. We're going to get more fermentines, but right now we only have 2 anyway. Okay, now he's a little happier. He's going to give me the florins for that. Now, in addition to things that are functional, we can also put things in that are decorative. And something like light, for example, is pretty good, actually. Every room has a light rating, and we can add to everybody's mood if they are in a well-lit area. So we're going to add some candles kind of over in these 4 rooms as we do. The time has come, your maltiness, to brew our vision of ambrosia. Set up a brewery with a boiler and a fermenter, instruct a brewer on how to wash their hands, and leave them to it. Yes, pick any brewery we like. So we need to brew a light ale. which is what we are working on right here. I've already told them to do that, but they don't work overnight, so they're going to sleep now. Yes, they snore. A little bit of snoring there. Now, one other room I want to build before he tells me to do it is the laboratorium. I'm going to build that over here for now. You can move rooms around later. That's possible to do, and there is some advantage to having the same room next to each other. You do get some adjacency bonuses, so you can keep that in mind too. But it does cost money to move things around, but it ends up being overall worth it if you can do the right rooms in the right places. Okay, so with the laboratorium done, we're going to want to build this. I have no idea how to say it. I'm going to say it's an escritoire. Sounds fancy, right? Yeah, I'm just going to say it's a research desk. I have no idea exactly how that's actually pronounced. Hopefully he doesn't spoil it. Let's find out. So this is the first time he's brewed it. I'm going to click this, and it's going to give us a quality rating. So he's got a 21 quality rating for basically water. And then every time we brew it, it gets a number so we can tell what run it was. So his quality is 21 for this. That's acceptable. With a little effort, I foresee a shiny future. Cool. Last thing we want to do then is sell this on the market. So Hopfendorf is the only place we can sell to now, but as we play the game, other places will start to unlock, and eventually we can just, we'll have all of our products be proliferated throughout all of the places, right? So it'd be great. But right now it's just Hopfendorf, and this is our monastery here. So basically the first town closest to us, and then we go down to this one, and then probably, I don't know, maybe we can branch off. I've never gotten this far. I know this one, but I've never gotten this far. Okay, so I'm going to raise my price. This is a price per 10 liters. So you can expect to sell for 31. We can expect about 310 gold for that. I'm going to go ahead and sell it. These are, I think they're called laymen. And we have, is it 2? Yeah, we have 2 total laymen. They are like the unsung heroes of the monastery. They're going to be walking around. They're going to be, moving things around for us, etc. In this case, they're just moving the beer. Okay. If I had more money, I would be brewing more. Looks like he's going to give me more florin. Nice. So let's brew again. This time, I want to see if I can get a little higher than that. So I'm going to have Hildegard brew it instead. And we're going to see what her rating is on this. So there we go. She's going to go ahead and do her thing. Now, over here, I still can't afford it. Okay, never mind. Build a refectory. We need to build a cooking stove. So he wants me to build the cooking stove now, which I don't think I can afford, but we'll try it. Yeah, it's a little bit more expensive than I have. It's fine. Once we sell the beer, we'll have the money. Oh, she's unhappy. Why? I'm so hungry I could eat a cow. Well, I don't have a refectory for you yet. Okay, so all our beer just arrived in Hopfendorf. That's good. So we'll just have to wait for it to sell. It says you weren't able to pay the whole monthly upkeep. You've been granted a loan, and the money has been deducted from there. Brew and sell more if your economy is in crisis. So automatically taking a loan for me because I couldn't pay the upkeep cost overnight. So I think the loan is... How much is the loan? The loan was 200. Okay, so if I want to repay the loan, I have to pay 200. So I just have to keep that in mind. If we don't pay it back in time, our generous brothers and sisters from the Abbey of St. Euphobius may get a little techie. Okay. It's fine. We're going to pay it back. We just have to get the money first. I want to see if Hildegard can get better than 21. All right, let's see how she did. She did. There's almost a max quality for this. That's almost the best basically water we could make. Perfect. So we could do that, or I could store it in the cellar. We don't have the cellar yet, so I'm just going to send it off and try to sell it in town. There we go. Just have the layman go ahead and pop it in there. Now, the other thing we can do, as soon as I get money, just waiting for that stuff to sell, is I have to build a refectory. So let's just do that and get the money from our friend there. We'll put this right here, and then tables. Good. And he gives me 150 florins. Excellent. With the 244 that I have, let's build this. The escritoire. This is just a research desk, and what we can do is we can assign one of our fermentines to be a researcher. Hildegard has excellent intelligence. She's going to be able to make 3 research points per hour here. It's just fantastic. So we're going to have her do this. She's on research. All right. Now that the fermentines' bellies are full, there's no excuse. Time to focus on brewing. We've already done this, and I will instantly get the florins for it. Good. And that's probably going to happen a couple more times because I've kind of gone ahead of him. So laboratorium, get the desk, yada, yada, yada. Here's 200 more florins. Excellent. All right, let's quickly... Yeah, now we need to research stuff for that. Okay, so what I want to do first, I think, here is I'm going to pay that loan back really quick. So let's just go and repay that. There we go. All done. Don't have to worry about it anymore. And also, if we happen to run low on funds again, it'll automatically do another loan, which will be great. Okay, so as she's researching, which is making a lot, we already have 13 points, which is fantastic. The next thing is to research monastery maintenance, because you'll notice that things are starting to get a little dirty, especially where they eat. And that brings down their mood. They don't like to be in dirty places, even though they're the ones causing it. Yeah. So we're going to go into the research window here. And there's a lot of stuff here in Monastery Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3. They all have different things we can do to progress ourselves. And there's also a furnishings tab, which is going to be useful for making everybody comfortable and decorating the place and making them feel nice about it. For now, though, we want monastery maintenance. This is going to cost us 10 points, and it's going to unlock the ability to place the maintenance locker. So I'm going to go over to furniture. There's a maintenance locker here, and for now, I'll just put it in the back corner of where we eat. It doesn't really matter where it is, just as long as it's in here somewhere. With the maintenance locker place, we now have access to these two tools right here. The light refilling tool allows us to refill the lights because they do go out after a little bit. And not that quickly. You can see the progress bar on it, I think, right there. See, it's not that close. It doesn't really cost us anything to do that. We just have to click. And then the cleaning tool, same thing. We can just click the rooms we want to clean and they all get clean. There we go. Okay, 200 more florins for me. Fun times. And now all the ruins will get clean. Next, we need to research cellar and build a staircase underground. Okay, so first thing I can do, I know I can build a staircase underground already, so I'll just go ahead and do that. And then we want to research cellar, which costs more points than we have at the moment. Cellar is 25. So Hildegard will just go back to researching, gaining 3 every single time. That's so good. In the meantime, my other buddy over here will keep making the brew. He doesn't quite do it as good as she does, but it's acceptable enough to sell it because everybody's expectations is pretty low. So right now, whether it's 20 quality or 5 quality, it will be enough to sell it in Hofbendorf. But as we get further along in the game, people are going to start getting more picky and they're going to want things of a certain higher caliber. We're also going to start getting custom orders where we have to meet certain characteristics and certain demands. And that's going to make things more challenging as well. So we'll just sell it the way it is and then immediately begin brewing it again. Although he's kind of not in a good mood, but I'm going to do it again. Yeah. So let him go back and be there. Now, if I don't want him to brew over and over again, because he will get annoyed by having to do the same thing over and over again. If I don't want that, I can go down to inspect the fermentines, and I actually have a candidates tab where I can see people I haven't hired yet. Every fermentine has 5 traits. There's intelligence, intuition, productivity, satisfaction, and drunkenness. So satisfaction is a really important one. I want to keep everybody as happy as possible because they will keep them more productive. Their productivity is how quickly they're going to be doing stuff, basically. So the more productive they are, the faster they complete their task. Intuition is important for brewing. They got to be able to feel how it's going to work, right? It's just a feeling. This is the right time to add this, or this is the right time to stop something, right? That intuition is going to help them brew better. And then intelligence is very useful for our recipe production and coming up with new recipes, as well as producing research points. So you can see that Hildegard here has a much higher intelligence than Benedictus here, and that is why she is able to do 3 points per, because she has, I guess it's probably 1 point for every 2 points of intelligence. Is that how that works? That seems to be how that's mathing out. But yeah, there we go. So she's really good at that. Not entirely sure how she got lucky with the brew though, because intuition isn't very high. It's where he should be the better brewer. Regardless, that's how those traits work, in case you were curious. So we have 30 points of research now. Let's go ahead and get the cellar. This is a place we can build underground for storing beer, and it's a very important room. We can do a lot of things with this. So I'm going to add 1 cellar here to start. And they're going to go ahead and build it. And then after that, we're going to add barrels to it. I'm going to at least add 2 to start. Okay, So he's going to give me the florins for that. That's nice. And then store an ale in the cellar barrel and mark the ale as drinkable by the fermentines. Every day we take steps in the right direction, yet our fermentines will still seem somewhat preoccupied. And we both understand that for our beers to stay bubbly, our brewers need to be too. With the cellars up and running, why not fill a barrel with a brew and give them full access to it? Essentially, we want our people to be able to drink our brew as well. So we're going to do that. So instead of selling this, I can store it in the cellar instead. So if I go ahead and do that, then they'll put it in this barrel and then I can mark it as drinkable. So this right here is the shelf life. As this stays in here, it'll go down until eventually it goes bad. There's also another meter that may pop up here we'll take a look at later. So I can sell it here or I can mark it as drinkable by them. And if I want to see any information about it, I can click this button here. It tells me everything about it. Okay, including all the ingredients used as well. And you can see the different prices on these ingredients as well. So pale malt is more expensive than the yeast, for example, and they have different characteristics in what they do. Okay, so I'm going to mark this as drinkable, and then that's going to satisfy what the bishop wants, and he's going to pay me for that. Cool. Now everybody can drink this, or I can sell it because I'm really low on cash. So let's go ahead and do that anyway. I'm going to sell this right out of the barrel. Send it out that way. All right. The monastery is running more smoothly by the day, but those whispers in the corridors persist. Nothing we can't fix. It's about your brewer's comfort, a luxury we could skip, but why not splurge if it makes things run even better? This is a golden opportunity. Seize it. So he wants me to basically research these 3 decorations and then put them throughout the monastery so that people can be more comfortable. Because right now, our comfort is only 13%. And because of that, satisfaction is dropping by everybody, so they're getting a little bit annoyed. Right now, it says they're happy, but they're going to start getting more and more annoyed. So we want to add decorations. We have 23 research points. Gosh, she's kicking them out fast. She doesn't like all work and no play, though. I'm going to have to give her a break at some point here. But while she's there, we have this. So let's go to furnishings. And we have these 3 is what they want me to do. So I can start with, I guess, the globe. And then the paintings. And then I have enough for the flower vase. Wow. Okay, when I was testing, I never would have had enough for that. The 3 at a time is actually really nice. That's 50% more than what I'm used to. So it's a pretty big step up. Okay, so we can place some of these decorative furnitures. Let's put a vase with a flower there, one there. Let's get some paintings maybe above there. Let's put a small painting in here. Let's get a flower vase maybe over there. In this room, we'll put one in this room too. And then the laboratorium actually can get a globe. I just don't know. Did I not click it? Did I not research it? I did. Or maybe it's not that. Maybe it's the library that gets it. Ah, it's the library that gets it. Okay. We'll put it in there. So that's going to add a whole bunch of decorations, and it should raise our comfort up. I think it needs to be over 31%, it says, so I need to do a little bit more. So let's go with another small painting right above that. And then I guess another one right above. Right where they eat? Or where we brew? Sure. That takes care of that. Okay. Excellent. Your maltiness, you too may have noticed that my recent odd tasks have not been thrust upon you as challenges, but rather as ways and means for you to find your footing. This final task marks the end of that little tactic of mine. But rest assured, you'll see more of me in the future. I'll return with new requests, this time better suited to your growing skills and the current state of the monastery. Whether you choose to take them on will be entirely up to you, though I dare say the rewards might be too tempting to ignore. Until then, keep up the excellent work. So he's done with tutorial-y tasks now, and now he's going to just be giving us individual challenges to keep going on with now. And we can now accept or reject those depending on if we're ready for those. So he's coming to us right away with a different one. It says 3 months of surplus, superior. That is all I ask. Others have failed, but you keep our balance in the green for that long, and I swear on the hops in our ales that I will keep fame rising, costs dropping. So if I can keep a positive financial balance at the end of the month for 3 consecutive months, I will gain 1 fame, and it'll be a 50% reduction in my furniture costs for 30 days, and 100% monthly upkeep cost for 30 days. So basically, no monthly upkeep at all for 1 month. I'll accept that. It's early in the game. We really should have positive balances. To help with that, though, since it's April 25th right now, I could brew this, but I probably won't be done and be able to sell it before the end of the month. So let me real quick check my financial ledger here. And we can see right now I do have a surplus. So strategically, it makes sense for me to wait to brew this beer. Or if I'm going to brew, I should brew a really low amount. So let's just see whether or not I can keep that up. I don't know if that's a good idea or not. We'll see. We're at April 28th. And if I just take a look at it real quick, still at, yeah, there it is. Okay, we sold some beer and now we're way higher, 544. Cool. Let's go ahead and brew. And basically water. Benedictus, you're going to do that now. Now we have another guy here. Brother Maltus now has a task for us. Your maltiness. We've caught Tiny Hopfendorf's attention, all right. A smaller market, certainly, but we could fatten our orders, bringing in them a new ale style. Something light, easy to drink, and affordable. A blonde ale, perhaps. So now we want to create a recipe with at least 2 virtues in the yellow range and brew 100 liters of it. Okay, so that's the next task. That task involves making a new recipe. So why don't we go ahead and have... Oh, she's so close, though. If I take her off the station, I lose those 3 points, and I don't want to lose those 3 points. Let's go to the innovation tab here really quick. I want to go to sanitation. This reduces the ale infection chance by 10%. So now when we're brewing things, there's even less of a chance for it to become infected, which is very good. I think as soon as she's done there, I'm going to remove her as the researcher, and I'm going to stick her on a new recipe if possible. So light ale, but this time we want to come up with 2 of these properties in the yellow range. So I can basically do something like this. That's all green. Or maybe I go like this. Now, that's a little more expensive. But perhaps trying to see if I can maybe get away with taking one of the pale malts away. No, I need the pale malt there. Okay. It's a little more expensive because I'm using 1 extra standard yeast, but by doing that, I get 2 traits in the yellow, and that's what we were looking for. And then Hildegard can go ahead and try to do this. I'm not going to get any bonus because she's not very satisfied. She's not very happy. So that's unfortunate, but we'll see how she does. And this one is going to be called less water. I mean, it's still a light ale. It's slightly less water because there's just a little bit more yeast. So whatever. It's not really any darker. I wouldn't think anyway. Cool. There's new fermenting candidates available for hire as well. So let's take a look at that. It's May 2nd. We had a positive balance before. We should hopefully have one this time too. New candidates. Okay. So I like the intelligence. I don't want Hildegard to have to do everything. So I like the intelligence. I think you two would be great additions. I like your intuition, though. I don't even know how to pronounce your name. Iones? Mancenius? I like that name. Bernardus. Ooh. Tell you what. Mancenius is actually much less expensive, but you're a higher rank. That's why. But I don't know why you're a higher rank. I'm going to choose you. And then Iones, I guess, for the intuition. We'll go ahead and hire you as well. So we have 2 additional fermentines now to go into those beds. Good. Let's also get something there to help them with their mood. Let's also refresh the lights. Oops, here we go. Let's clean the rooms really quick here too. Refresh our candles. Probably want to add a candle in here. Also, I'd like to add another desk. If it'll let me. It will. I can get 2 desks. That's expensive. Let me take a look. The month is very early. But remember, I want to have... Yeah, if I'm adding furniture right before I get them 50% off, that's no good. I probably shouldn't be buying any furniture at all. So let's hold off on all additional furniture. And we'll see how well he did. Oh, basically water. It's the same thing. So let's go ahead and sell this. We're only going to get 28 for it now. So we'll just go ahead and do that. It's fine. should be able to keep our balance in the green. Or technically not yet because I've bought things, but it'll get better. It'll get better. We just sold some. There we go. There, back in the green now. All right, so the new less water is what I want. Less water, and let's have Iones. You're the one with high intuition. So I'm going to have you try this. And there's only a 5% chance of infection. It's 174 gold to brew it. But if we can sell it, then we'll end up getting more money from him as a reward, I think. So we'll be all right there. So he's going to go and do it. Now, you might be wondering, can you cook here while this is no, these two things are connected. In fact, the entire room is connected because I can't even add an additional stove if I want to. Unfortunately, only one stove allowed in the brewery. Same thing with the fermenter. Only one can be placed in this room. So the rest of this is mostly just for decorations to keep them comfortable and such is kind of all I'm seeing here. So if I would want to put, you know, maybe another small painting in this room just to kind of keep that going. But again, stop buying furniture. Don't do it. Okay, so we got really unlucky on the RNG. That can happen too. It can. But we are going to get 200 florins for that and more fame for the blonde ale. We're definitely going to want someone else to brew that. And I'm going to store this in the cellar for my fermentines because it's pretty low quality. So let's have somebody else brew this instead. We'll try Mansanius. We'll see how well he does at this. Maybe he'll have better luck. Unfortunately, what should have been our best brewer didn't do very well there. I'm going to add another one of these. No furniture, Charlie. Stop it. All right, let's see how well he did. And he has pretty bad as well. Wow, the less water is also just less good. We'll sell that one in town, I guess. We also have a custom order right here, which I probably should have clicked before I went to sell it, but that's okay. We do have some in the cellar. So let's see what this order is. So this is a light ale for Patron Saint's Day of Hopfendorf. They want 100 liters, and they're going to give us 106 in advance and 212 total payment. We can negotiate this. So let's say I want instead to have... See, so 250 is basically what I can get in town already. I'm already selling it for 25, but at least this is in bulk. So I want to get at least what I can get in town, but I want to get it immediately. It looks like they're going to accept my offer. So now all I want to do is I'm going to come over to this. We're going to sell it, and then we're going to click this little icon and hold down the mouse on it. That is going to send that quantity of beer to that contract. Okay, so basically we want to have better brewing here too. Let's see what we can do with basically water. And I'm going to have our better brewer, quote unquote, try that one out. Because the other recipe is worse quality and it also costs more to brew. Because it's using more ingredients. So we don't want that to happen either. So that's going to get sent off for the contract and then they're going to pay me. There we go, 907 in the bank. Very good, and we are plus 352. We want to stay positive for 3 consecutive months. Okay, yeah, and then the town is paying us for that as well. All right, how did you do, Iones, I guess. Iones? I don't know how you say his name, but how did you do on this brew? Not as good as your fellow brewer, but you know what? I guess it's fine. We'll throw this in the cellar, and I'm going to let you guys drink it. So that one's available for everyone. You can see it already is used up. So they drink. They'll get there. They'll do it right away, but it'll make them happier. We want people happy. Okay, so we're going to have you try it and see what you can do. I already know what, like the best brewers, you know, she's right here, but she's also so good on this that I don't want her to stop. I'm working her to the bone. Look at her. I'll never drink again. She was drinking. My throat's so dry I could use an ale, but you'll never drink again. That doesn't seem like those two traits can work together very well. All work and no play, and these rooms look like a pigsty. Well, I just cleaned the room, so you should be fine on that one. But yeah, we definitely need more decorations and stuff, which is what your research is helping me do. We're going to get a locker. Tunics, cowls, and some socks, all the same color, all the same size. Decision paralysis must be avoided at all costs. This is going to add satisfaction to the room, so we want to have a locker for them too. Whatever I can do to add satisfaction. Something else we could do is get them faster learning experience or get single step mashing, which reduces the boiling phase, allows us to brew a little faster. I think I'm going to go ahead and have them learn a little faster. All right, let's get the locker in here. We're going to put a locker. Yeah, probably in this room is good. We'll put one right there. Yeah, and then another bed because we're probably going to stop with the furniture. God, I can't stop. I just want to expand. I want to expand and I can't. All right, because the game. All right, I can't help myself. I swear I'm putting my right hand up right now. I swear I will not click another piece of furniture and install another piece of furniture until it is at a discount. Okay? I won't do it. There's still plenty of decorations and stuff I want to add, but I will wait. We're going to wait now. I think the barrels count as furniture as well. I think. Maybe not. Maybe it's just the decorative items. Yeah, I don't know if this counts. Let's see. This is 130. I guess we'll find out if it does. I'm not going to do it. We're going to see if it does. Okay, so you did exceptionally well compared to many of the people we had just a little moment ago. See if we can get 29 for it, and we'll try to sell it in town. All right, May 29th. And as the month ticks over here into June, I should see this bar go up to 2 out of 3. There it is. 2 out of 3. Excellent. And we have more Fermentines available for hire, which I can have more. I can have up to 6. It does become a little more difficult to keep the balance positive if I do that, but we'll see. Ira here would be a good one for research. I like that. We're going to go ahead and grab her. And then I can have her take a seat, or just take a break. That's what I want. Hildegard takes a break, and we assign you instead. It's not as much, but it's something. That's all right. We'll assign you here instead. Oh, everybody's kind of... What's this? Why are you freaking out? What is this? I'm so hungry I could eat a cow. Well, eat. Huh? You can't eat or what? What's going on? Just like clockwork, you give people enough of the lighter stuff and they quickly come begging for something darker. Nothing wrong with that. Your maltiness, I believe finding a way to craft an old ale would definitely help in satisfying their new vice. So we need to have at least 4 fermentines. We do. Then we need to create a recipe with flavor in the yellow range and all other virtues in the green range. If we brew 100 liters of that, it doesn't matter what ale it is, as long as it meets that requirement. And if we do that, then it will unlock the ability to use old ale. Okay, let's do a quick clean on all the rooms here really quick, and then we're going to see what we might be able to do there. So we want to create a recipe with flavor in the yellow, and everything else is not. So flavor is here. It's probably easier to get that with blonde ale than it is with light. Looks like there's some pretty fat green zones, but strength needs to be very specific though. Let's see if we can maybe do this with blonde. So blonde uses pale malt, standard yeast, and Groot. And the fair price is spring is increased by 20. Fair price in winter is decreased by 20. It's June, so I guess that's spring somehow. This looks like summer to me, but all right. So we need at least one of each, so we'll just do that. Now we need to get this one in the yellow while these ones are in the green. So it looks like we're probably just going to have to add some pale malt, unfortunately, a couple of times. And if we can do that, I guess, yeah, one more time there. And now we need to bring the strength down. That's standard yeast. And then we do this one more time, and that gets us where we are. So it's quite expensive. I'm not sure if there's anything I could take away that would get us there a little cheaper. I don't think so. Well, maybe if I take away the Groot, then I would still... No, it's a required ingredient anyway. I have to have it. Okay, we'll try this. This does satisfy the description. Yes, it does. Everything that this thing said is good. So we're going to do that. And then let's get Mencenius to try it out. Here he's got some pretty good intelligence. Not as good as Hildegard, but she's also not in a good mood. So I need to give her a break. So For this one, we're going to say that it's... I'm really terrible at naming things. I am. In fact, I'm so terrible. This is going to be the terrible. I'm terrible at naming things. This is the terrible. I have no idea if it's bad. It might even be really good. It's one of those things where it's like you just got to try the... Have you tried the terrible? You should try the terrible. So we'll see how that works out. Okay, so we've sold... Looks like we've sold everything in town. Basically, water's got 73 liters left in town. So a little bit left there. We could brew more, but it looks like the recipe is actually done. So let's brew that. The Terrible Blonde Ale. And we have the check marks. Yes, so the Terrible. We want to brew it with, let's... Ionis, whatever your name is. Let's brew it with you. It's 203 to brew this. So we're going to need to get quite a lot of gold for it because it's much more expensive. But thankfully my people can just take this drink of basically water and they'll be good. They can hopefully be happy. I mean, they're in okay moods, right? Overall happy, right? I just got to make sure I rotate them through their jobs so they can take breaks and stuff. I really want to add another table. I do, but I swore I wouldn't add any more furniture. So I'm not going to just yet. Okay, that's decent. Somehow the terrible isn't so terrible. And we can get 32 for it, 33 for it. I like it. Let's go ahead and try to sell it. Yay! We get one more permanent layman. Just going to help us move things around a little bit better. Our logistics just improved by 50%. So that's neat. Oh, are you drunk? I'll never drink again. Yeah, you've been working a lot too. I need to have you swapped out with somebody else as well. How good of a mood are you? Well, you're in a good mood now that you've had a drink. Yeah. Good. Just keep right on going. For research's sake, let's go with creative pairings. Unlock the possibility to add ingredients to a recipe outside of a style. That's curious. I also like the cask clairvoyance as well. It displays profit prediction for every brew based on actual markets. I like those things too. Let's get that because then I can get a little more information. And then finally, we'll reduce the step so that we brew a little faster. Okay, good. So now that we're done with that one, let's get a different one. We'll brew it again, the Terrible. Let's have Benedictus try it out. See what kind of rating you get for it. 203 is not great as far as costs go. I wish it wasn't quite so expensive, but I get it. It's fine. Where are we on our bliss? 291. Okay, 291 surplus. That's after the expenditure there. So we should be in good shape to get the 3 consecutive months of profit as well. Okay, pause. We have an event. We have a couple of things happening. So we have a custom offer again, which we're going to want to look at. But we also have an event. Now, these are sometimes good. These can sometimes be bad. A lot of times they just force you to think and do things a little differently. This one is Vagary Heatwave. So it's going to last for about 3 months. It says your maltiness, unpredictable by their very nature, neither man nor beast can command the elements or escape their wrath for that matter. So here we are, temperatures rising and our habits melting into our mortal shells. Not everything about this heat wave is ill fortune. Fermentation does speed up. Unfortunately, so does spoilage. Will you risk brewing ales that might not last or suffer layman shortages in an effort to fight back? So we have a choice. We can either ignore the heat wave, in which case if we do, then our fermentation times are half the speed, our infection chance goes up 10%, and our shelf life is going to decrease by 200%. Or we can be delicate layman. If we do, then we still get the half off on the fermentation time, but 50% of my layman will become unavailable until the end of the event. Now, I only have 3. So I'm not sure what happens if 50% of my laymen are unavailable. I don't know. Is it going to give you just 1 now or 2? Let's see if it rounds up and gives me 2. I'd be all right with that. Then I get the benefits and none of the negatives. So we'll see how that goes. Confirm. Okay, so it's going to give me 2. That's good. So that extra one that I just got for the other thing, that helps out a lot. So I still have the 2 that I would have had anyway. I like it. But our fermentation time is now 50%, which is good. Our shelf life on this, it's getting a little bit down, isn't it? 60 liters left. Let's check out what this contract is. Okay, so they want a light ale for a betrothal party at Hopfendorf. They're looking for a minimum quality of 5. We have that. They want 40 liters. We can accommodate that. And I think basically water is a light ale, right? It is. So I can just fulfill this order with what I already made. So in that case, let's negotiate. I think I want to try and getting like 100 for it. That's pretty risky, but we can try it. They're going to let me have it. Good. RNG is with me. Okay, so now all I have to do is send 40 to that contract. So click the barrel, say sell, and then hold down on that contract right there. And our layman will get to work. Load up the wagon and off it goes. Beautiful. All right, how'd you do, buddy? You did terrible. All right, I thought that's what was going to happen. Let's go ahead and store that one in our cellar, because we don't really care to sell. Not going to really do much with that one. We're not going to buy furniture just yet. We're almost. We got 10 more days, and then I can buy furniture. I'm trying really hard not to do it again, man. It's like, no, just give me another barrel. Can't. Okay, new brew. We'll go Hildegard. Give us a really good one here. A really good one that we can drink ourselves, that our people can drink. That'll make them happy. We can't really sell it for all that much more, so I'd rather have the good stuff for our people. Until we start getting better locations and stuff, then sure. I think I'll take basically water here. Actually, you know, hang on, there's another contract coming in. Another light ale, another betrothal party. Okay, this one wants 10 plus. That's not the terrible then, because this one here is 8, so I won't be able to sell that one. And they want 50, so I will have to brew this again. Yes, because this is an 8. And this one's good, but there's not much left of it. So we'll switch to having our people drink this one, I guess. I'm going to go ahead and sell this one to town. It's going to make room for this. And then we'll have this one go to the contract, because she's gonna nail it out of the park here. So let's negotiate this. 50 liters. Let's try to get 150 for it. That's 3 gold each. As the French proverb goes, grasp all, lose all. It seems we tried to hackle too much. Maybe next time. So that's okay. No big deal. We just won't be selling it to them for 3 each instead. We'll get 3 each like this instead. That's basically it. This is exactly the same. Yeah, it's exactly the same. So I'll just sell it here instead. Okay, let's check on the lights right there, there. Make them nice and bright. There we go. I want to get the candelabra. That's going to be even better for lighting on these rooms. Research-wise, we have 38 points. I guess I could do the quick rebrew, but no, I think creative furniture is better, yeah? Yeah, candelabra is right here. Wall tapestry or the pile of books. Now this one's interesting because the pile of books actually gives us a chance for ale traits probabilities. So it affects our recipes that we're coming up with. It can also raise the minimum quality of that recipe. So I like this because it can help us directly. And then we have a hops bucket, which adds satisfaction and also ale quality. Applies to the randomly generated result of an ale quality. It won't allow the ale to obtain a quality higher than the recipe maximum quality. Okay, that's still good. A hops bucket's good. We're going to grab that instead. So I would add it here, but I'm going to wait 2 days because I said I would. And then we will add it, okay? There we go. So there it is. All done. And now our furniture costs go down for 30 days. So I can now add, hoping that this will allow me to have a discount on it, a hops bucket right there. And I thought I could put this in a different room. Perhaps not. No, but the pile of books can definitely go in the library. So we'll do that too. Okay, now since we have a discount, we can go in and add a second one of these, and we can assign Hildegard to that research. And now she's just going to cruise. She can take a break and give Mencius, who is also +3 now, There we go. So we're going to have lots of research points coming in now. That's going to be great. Beautiful. Okay, well, this is the first video for Ale Abbey. I hope you guys have enjoyed this, and if you want to see more, feel free to leave a comment. Let me know. Again, special thank you to Shiro for sponsoring this video. Really cool game, and congratulations on reaching 1.0. A lot of games don't do that, and you guys did it, so congrats on that. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.